Okay, how long have you been in Athens?
All my life, 42 years.
Have you noticed any sort of trend in underage drinking, such as like an increase or a decrease in that time?
It's definitely increased. In '88, I believe the drinking age went from 18 to, or actually it was 19 to 21. And ever since then, the underage drinking has increased. I couldn't give you statistics-wise, but or percentage, but it's definitely increased since the drinking age increased to 21.
Do you see any possibility for any future trends, such as it going up or going down?
Well, the trend I've seen in the last 20 years has been that the binge drinking has increased a lot, and I think it's directly related to that 21 drinking age. I don't think it's been productive at all. And I think that binge drinking and house parties, things like that, will continue to increase until they address it in some fashion. And I can explain why I think that, but that's not a real good answer to your question.
Is there a time of year when underage drinking seems to be more problematic than others?
Yeah, the fall quarter is probably, we see it's predominant, and then spring quarter is clearly the worst. Winter quarter, the problems seem to subside. I wouldn't say that underage drinking subsides during winter quarter, but we don't see it as much because people are indoors instead of outside.
Are there any methods that you think would help reduce the number of underage drinkers?
Yeah, I think they need to lower the drinking age back to 19 or 18, something reasonable. The reason I say that is because, like I said, when they raised the drinking age, thought they were doing a good thing, making alcohol unattainable for less mature people, but it's not really been productive. And what it's done is it's forced the alcohol consumption underground. Into the house parties, away from the bars and into the house parties. Now, prior to that age increasing, people, when they turned 18 and 19, it was 18 for me, they would go to the bars and drink. And the focus wasn't just on drinking. The focus was on having a nice social gathering with your friends, and where you happened to consume alcohol. And there were some rules and some regulations. It was a socialization process taking place. And you got cut off by the bartender if you had too much to drink, and you didn't act up and tear property up, etc. You were just out for a good time with your friends, and like I said, the focus wasn't drinking. Then when that drinking age kicked in, the people went away from the bars because they'd get caught, and they started drinking in the houses. Well, there's no one there to cut you off. The house party started, and it was became less of a social event and more of a focus on drinking. And you look at the games like beer pong and quarters and all those other games that they have now. The games are played specifically with the idea of drinking. And not that we didn't have those before, but they seem to increase. So they need to lower that drinking age back down, in my opinion. The other thing is maybe, and this is probably a way out thought, but I'd like to see maybe the drinking age done away with altogether, and license for alcohol consumption and put in place. Something, kind of a credential that goes right on your driver's license. It says you've been through a 10-hour course or whatever, on the dangers of alcohol and alcohol consumption, the dangers of drunk driving, those kinds of things. Teach people how to be responsible drinkers. Then once they have that endorsement on their driver's license or whatever, then they can consume. And then if they get caught, just like a DUI or something, they're intoxicated, that kind of thing, and they're picked up by the police, then sanctions can be taken against that endorsement. Maybe you lose your drinking endorsement for 6 months or a year, or suspended indefinitely, that kind of thing. Because it really has to do with maturity and the socialization process, more than just a simple age. I know 30-year-olds that shouldn't drink alcohol, and I know 15 and 16-year-olds that are probably mature enough to drink alcohol and not get hammered drunk, and tear up property. So it's kind of a novel idea, but something I've always thought about.
Do you believe there are any outside sources influencing underage drinking?
Well, you take for Athens, I think that's community. It changes community to community. But you take Athens, for example, the focus here in Athens is definitely in large part for college-age people, is drinking. We have 15 bars on Court Street, and there's very else. We don't have pro sports teams. We don't have a lot of museums and points of interest and amusement parks and things like that. We just don't have that. So you come to Athens to get an education, and if you get bored, you can watch TV, play intramural sports, or drink. And so that's a problem. So here in Athens, consumption of alcohol is kind of a pastime. It's almost at this point a college rite, a passage, so to speak. I understand not every student consumes, but a good portion do. Athens has a reputation for being a party town, like Morgantown and Madison, Wisconsin, and Texas. I remember the town there in Texas, but they all have their reputations, so I think it's community to community.
Is there anything else you'd like to express on this topic?